hatched from its egg, the crab spends the early stages of its life swimming freely amongst the plankton. A master of adaptability, the crab inhabits every corner of the ocean and ranges in size from less than half an inch up to 11 feet across.
The crabs most commonly found in our waters include the red rock, the Dungeness, the Puget Sound king crab, and the hermit crab. Generally a solitary dweller, crabs prefer to remain hidden in crevices, under rocks, or in the case of the hermit crab, in discarded shells of other creatures. Two of the crab's legs have developed into powerful pincers for feeding and defense. In the case of a larger species, a painful wound may be inflicted. A secondary line of defense, the crab has developed the ability to shed and regenerate its limbs, often giving up a leg to a serious predator in the hopes to leave the rest of them alone. The one that Steph has for you right now is our Dungeness. Those are the ones you'll see more commonly throughout of our aquarium.
Another group of creatures capable of regeneration are the sea stars. In fact, in some cases, should the animal be cut into 2 or more pieces, a corresponding number of complete and separate animals will eventually develop. Relying on a remarkable system of hydraulics for locomotion and a single photosensitive cell on the tip of each arm for sight, the sea stars appear as truly otherworldly beings. As successful predators which have adapted to life in the deepest abyss or the shallowest shoreline, the sea stars prey on shellfish, sponges, anemones, fish, and other sea stars. Once the victim has been located, it's grasped or opened with a pressure sometimes exceeding 100 pounds. The sea star then forces its own stomach out of its body, into and over the meal, where it's digested before being passed back through the mouth.
The waters of the Pacific Northwest support the greatest variety of sea stars found anywhere on Earth, and one of these is called the sunflower star. It has 20 or more arms, it's the world's largest, and only found here. On the underside of a sunflower star are tens of thousands of tiny little tube feet, which enable the animal to glide over the roughest surfaces at a breakneck speed in excess of 1/8 of a mile per hour. The one that Stephanie is holding for you right now is our blood star.
Okay, right?
Long believed to be the link between animals and plants, anemones are now known to be carnivorous animals, closely related to the corals, hydroids, and jellyfish. In fact, anemones could almost be considered jellyfish that have decided to stand on their heads and attach to the rock for a while. The tentacles are equipped with stinging cells, which act like tiny harpoons, barbed and poisonous. Should some unfortunate creature come into contact with them, they are snared, paralyzed, and drawn through the mouth into the body cavity. As very prolific and colorful as flowers, anemones will often congregate in huge numbers, where the action of wave and current afford a rich and plentiful food supply. In these areas, the sea floor is transformed into a living yet ghostly garden.
Not all anemones remain attached to the sea floor. Some can actually burrow into it, and others can swim away when faced with a predator. But the most common means of defense for this animal is to simply fold up its tentacles and become a featureless round blob upon the rock. The anemone also assumes this position when it's digesting its food. So the natural laws of the jungle also apply to the creatures of the sea. However, to keep our marine life happy, we do interfere just slightly with nature and provide a feeding time. Although difficult to train many fish, Stephanie has conditioned them to respond to the sound of a dinner bell. So the largest family of fish we have in our aquarium are what are known as rockfish. And these are easily identified by the pointy spines on their dorsal fin. We have quillback, china, tiger striped, and copper rockfish. Also in the tank with Stephanie, we have what are known as sea perch. We have shiner, striped, and pow perch. Our shiner perch are in the front tank when you came down the stairs. The cool thing about these guys is they give live birth, not laying eggs. We also have some bottom dwellers, and what makes a bottom dweller is they lack an internal swim bladder. So once they stop swimming, they float right back down to the bottom. What we have in there for our bottom dwellers is we have some cabezons, some kelp greenling, and some lingcod. Lingcod are the big guys that you see swimming around. Our cabezons have bushy eyebrows and are freckled. And the cool thing about our cabezons is they are not got scales like a fish, they have skin like a shark. Also throughout our aquariums, you will have seen that we have in one of our side tanks a silver torpedo-shaped fish, which is our Chinook salmon. And in the wild, when fully grown, they can reach up to about 100 pounds. Also in the tank with Stephanie, we have another bottom dweller. It's a snake-like fish called a wolfeel. And we'll have her bring one of them out. It may be the female, it may be the male. We'll tell you once we figure that out. One of the rockfish that we have in there is called the yellow eye, and it looks somewhat like a giant goldfish. It's more commonly known as the Pacific red snapper.
The ferocious-looking wolfeel is in fact an elongated fish, sometimes growing to 8 feet in length. Its powerful jaws, equipped with 20 needle-sharp teeth, enable it to eat many hard-shelled creatures, including sea urchins, which it effortlessly crushes, shells, spines, and all. The wolfeel's evil appearance is only skin deep, for they usually mate for life, and even in the wild, are eager to please and play with divers. The male wolfeel, although larger and heavier than the female, is the less aggressive of the two, and often bears the scars of past domestic strife. As juveniles, both male and female are brilliant orange in color, which gradually fades to the mottled gray and black of the adult.
Taking up residence in rocky dens and guarding them jealously, wolfeels are often encountered by divers with only their faces peering out of a hole in the rock. Here at the gardens, the wolfeels are our favorites because they are so friendly and fascinating and eager to play with our divers. The one Stephanie had for you was our female. You can tell her head size is very small and skin color is dark black.
The 19th century writer, Victor Hugo, described the manner in which an octopus ingests food, in this case, a human being. You enter the beast. You become one. The tiger can only devour you. The devilfish inhales you. He draws you to him, into him, and bound and helpless, you feel yourself emptied into his frightful sack, which is a monster. To be eaten alive is more than terrible, but to be drunk alive is inexpressible. Tales of giant octopus dragging ships and sailors to their doom and guarding the treasures of sunken galleons have assured the octopus an evil, yet totally undeserved reputation. The largest octopus in the world occurs right here in Pacific Northwest waters and often reaches up to 18 feet across. The largest known specimen was captured off Victoria, BC in 1885 and measured 32 feet, almost 10 meters, from tentacle tip to tentacle tip. But the octopus is not the malevolent nightmare monster myth has made him, but rather a shy, intelligent creature, and the master of his world.
The octopi's 8 arms are covered with 1,600 suction cups, each of which can be manipulated independently. The tentacles are used for grasping prey and for locomotion, but the octopus has a backup means of movement called jet propulsion. By flooding its mantle cavity and forcing the water out through its siphon, the octopus can jet away from danger at speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. Also, this beautiful animal is a master of disguise, can change its skin color and texture to exactly match their background, becoming practically invisible to both prey and predator. If I get everyone to sit down so everyone can see, that would be greatly appreciated.
The octopus hunts at night, feeding mainly on crab, which he cracks with a parrot-like beak located at the base of his tentacles. Their eyesight is excellent, and experiments have shown them capable of solving